Hi, y'all. This is Andrew Montoya. I'm here to recap the events of the Shaw Classic Open that I just competed in on August 19th and 20th in Loveland, Colorado. It was a disappointing competition for me. I finished 15th out of 16. Still had a great time, though. Love competing at this show every year. Brian and Carrie Shaw and the whole team does an amazing job putting on this show. Jumping into the events, the first event was an overhead medley. Didn't get the greatest camera angle on this, but you can still see what's happening. It was 2 reps of a 330 log at first. The rogue log kind of throws me a little bit narrow, but we were able to knock those out no problem. Then we moved on to the Ironmite axles, which are kind of slippy, but feel pretty comfortable with axle. It's probably my favorite overhead. So we banged those out no problem. Took my time more on these because I saw some of the other competitors having some issues with them. Right here. My right foot actually slipped a little bit, so it almost looked like I split jerked it. And then kind of regained composure before the dumbbell. Now, I was kind of feeling all the adrenaline as this is the first event, so I didn't have the greatest control here. And I got in a good position. I thought I had it locked out, but I kind of left it behind me. So right there, a good arm lock, but it's just too far behind my body and I couldn't stabilize it. Tried to get another rep, but after that one, I pretty much was out of time. Gave it a decent attempt, but kind of just lost it again. So that was disappointing, but still ended up placing seventh on that, 7th or 8th on that event. I forget which. Moving on to the wheelbarrow sandbag medley. Now this event gave me some trouble. I was expecting to do well on this because I had been training for the wheelbarrow a lot for North America's Strongest Man. And the wheelbarrow part moved fine, but I just had a hard time gripping these bags. So right here you can see my right hand kind of slip out. So I had to really dig in and get them set. So I got this one up, no problem. But at this point, I was already behind the pace compared to the other guys. Good grip. So there we go, wheelbarrow moving well. Now this is a 350 bag, and this is the first time I've loaded a bag this heavy since official Strong Games of last year, just due to the way some injuries in the training cycle played out. So I was really happy to be able to get this. Had to really sit in deep for this one. So I got it up there. Didn't get high enough at first, and I was afraid it'd roll off. So then right here, had a misstep on the pick, reset it, and my left hand actually fell almost immediately, so I was just holding on for bare life with my fingertips. And I barely beat the time cap, but that wasn't very good on this event. Mistake cost me, ended up 14th. Moving on to the Atlas Stone Run. I knew this one would be kind of difficult as I'd been beat up at North Americans, as I've mentioned, but I'd also had a rough time with some technique issues. But I blitzed these first 3 pretty well, and I was pretty pumped about that. It was feeling pretty good. Everything was going pretty well. And then we get to this 4th one here, which is the 425 stone. Now, I got this one last year, but this one right here, my tacky slipped on my left hand, so I tried to re-tacky. It really wasn't moving that well. Sit into it. I tried to get back into it a little too quickly, and then hand slipped again. And at this point, I just completely lost my groove. I was trying to get any semblance of grip. And yep, once again, another disappointing stone run. It's pretty unacceptable for me. This is my favorite event, so it's definitely something we're going to have to get back and work on. Don't have a video for the deadlift. This is all the higher I got anyways. Then got to this point and felt the pain shooting through my hip and my back, so I just decided to take the 0 on that one. Wasn't much I could do. And so that led into the last event, which was a 1,000-pound yoke run for 40 feet down and 40 feet back. This was my highlight of the weekend. This is the event that I did a lot better on than I thought I would. Got some great tips from Nick Wortham in backstage, as he's a beast on the yoke run, and really applied him here and ended up beating my time from last year. I think it was between 28 and 29 seconds. And so at least I got to end on a positive note. Overall, not a particularly great performance for me. Got a battle. We're just going to have to get back in the lab and get better, get stronger. Thanks again to Brian and Carrie Shaw for putting this on every year. It's one of my favorite contests, and I hope to be back next year.